Hi, this is Peggy Clary of Clary Law Offices, one of our estate planning attorneys, and tonight's daily video talk is follow-up to one of our most watched videos on our site. And to be honest with you, it's probably one of our worst of production quality because I was coming home late for a meeting and shot it from the front seat of my car, but talked about when you're in a divorce, how that affects your estate planning. And in that video, we talked about some of the important steps you can take when your spouse has filed for divorce or separation, where you can use the estate planning laws, including healthcare surrogate, living will, power of attorney, to nominate someone to be your decision maker when you can't, because normally under Florida law, a spouse has a lot of automatic rights. So I would encourage you to watch it. You're welcome to leave a comment about the poor production quality, but the information's very good. That video led to a lot more questions that we received about, well, now I've gotten divorced, and this is really true in minor children from the marriage. I don't want my former husband to be in charge, or former wife to be in charge of any monies which these minor children we had together may receive. And sometimes that's rooted in just a great dislike of the former spouse. Sometimes it's rooted that they're not bad people, but they're very poor money managers. But the other spouse, the former spouse, as the natural guardian of those minor children, will be in charge of any legacy that they would be left to them if you die, because they're the other natural parent. And the term we use is natural guardian. So just like when you were married, the natural guardian of a minor child is put into a position of priority over other people that you might trust to better handle any legacy that your minor children might receive because of your death as the other parent. So it's a really complicated thing to explain, I find, legally, as we say, clear as mud, driving with the windshield. So I like to give an example. So mom and dad are married, they have 3 children, and then they divorce, and at the time they divorce, those children might be 12, 10, and 6. And as long as those children are the minor age, the one parent, all right, each one is a natural guardian. You're no longer together an intact family, but you each are natural guardians. If parent A dies, then parent B is going to be in charge of any legacy that these 3 children would inherit from the deceased parent. So how you can prevent that from becoming an area you're concerned about as the parent who has now passed away, or maybe you don't want your former spouse to manage any legacy these minor children would receive, is you can establish as a now divorced person your last will and testament, and under that last will and testament you can create a testamentary trust that in the event you should die and your children haven't reached a certain age, and maybe you can say 25 or 30 if you're really worried about them, then any inheritance those same 3 children would receive would go into this trust. And the trustee of that trust is a person you pick. So they would manage the money for the care of your children. And maybe you're one of those rare people where you feel really good about having your former spouse be the money manager of any legacy you leave your children. I think that's wonderful. Not all of us have the Jennifer Gardner, Ben Affleck relationship with our co-parent. So you might choose to have maybe one of your siblings, maybe a good family friend, maybe your longtime accountant, to be the money manager or the trustee for any legacy you plan to leave your children. Now, these are really complex topics. They're always painful to talk about, but taking that time to plan in your last will and testament and to ensure that your children are cared for when you're gone is one of the most important things you can do as a parent. So hopefully this information has been helpful to you. It supplements our other video about when you're in the middle of divorce, what are the statutory rights that attach to your spouse and how to plan around it till the divorce is final. And this video is the other half of that, that when you are divorced, what are good steps you can do to ensure any legacy you want to leave for your children, that's in place. So there's no issues when you have passed away. And usually when you have an untimely death where there's minor children, it's a really tragic event, such as car accident or other traumatic event for your children. So by having this will lined up, you're minimizing the harm that they experience. So we hope you live your life with civility, dignity, and respect. If we can help you plan at Clary Law to do that, we're happy to do so. And thanks again for your time this evening.